Janaranjana Yamunatira Banachari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Bolo Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Bolo Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Bolo Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Bolo Krishna Hare Krishna Rama Rama Hare Hare Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Chalakahe Chakshuru Anmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Shtapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadhati Swavadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Pada Kamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Radha Vrinda Shri Vishnu Shri Radha Krishna Padha Sahagana Ragita Vitam Ditam Che He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastete Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishavanu Sudidevi Pranamami Hari Priya Vancha Kalpatarubhischa Kripasundhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. I was born in the darkest ignorance, but my spiritual master, he opened my eyes with transcendental knowledge. Offer my respectful obeisances unto him. His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Mukam karoti vachalam pangam langayate giriyat kripatvam vande Shri Guru Dina Tarana. A lame man can climb mountains, a blind man can see stars in the sky, and a dumb man like me can speak words of wisdom. I offer my respected obeisances to my spiritual master, His Holiness Srila Radhanath Swami Maharaj. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Shri Radha Gokulananda Sitaram Lakshman Gonitai Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So, welcome everyone to this evening's special class. It's because it's the month of Kartik, so we're giving different classes, different themes from the Krishna book. So before I begin, first of all, I just want to express my gratitude to Srila Prabhupada. Everyone knows that Srila Prabhupada is the founder Acharya of the Hare Krishna movement. And when I first joined the temple, when I first came to the temple, I didn't know Srila Prabhupada. I used to go straight to the deities and pay my respects there. But I really want to express my gratitude to Srila Prabhupada, because without his mercy, we wouldn't be having the Krishna book. Do most of you know that Srila Prabhupada would rise at, take rest at 10 o'clock at night, and then wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning, and then between 2 and 6 he'd translate all the verses. Has anyone been to Mayapur here? Yeah. If you go to Mayapur, there's Srila Prabhupada's library. I went there once, and I looked at all the books, and all the books were in Sanskrit. Almost every book was in Sanskrit. And Srila Prabhupada, he went word by word, and he translated those books for us. So if it wasn't to Srila Prabhupada today, we wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be sitting here, having such a powerful book like that. All glory to Srila Prabhupada for what he's done for us. So we should never forget that. Whenever you come into the temple, don't go straight to the deities. Take darshan of Srila Prabhupada first, and then go around and take your darshan of the deities, because we cannot approach Krishna without the mercy of Guru and Gauranga. So that's a very important lesson we should learn today. I hope that whatever words I'm saying, that I have your blessings, that I may say it in the right order, and it comes out properly, and forgive me for anything I might say that might be untoward. So the other question I want to ask you is, how many know George Harrison? Most of you know George Harrison. Everyone knows George Harrison. George Harrison was the Beatle, and he was one of the most famous musicians in the 1960s. I just want to tell you the story before I start the class. He's another personality I'd like to express my gratitude to, because he made friends with the devotees, especially Shyamasundar Prabhu. obviously Srila Prabhupada was very dear to him. And Srila Prabhupada had translated the Krishna book. This is the book. And he needed about 20,000 pounds to print it. So he asked Shyamasundar, he said, I think you should ask George for the money. And Shyamasundar Prabhu said, wow, Srila Prabhupada, we've never asked George for any money before. We've never asked him for any money. He'll know that we're just one of these religious organizations who just after his money. Srila Prabhupada, please. So he says, no, just go and ask George for the money. Tell him I'm asking you. This is the story I'm relaying from what I've heard and I've read. And he went, he was invited to a dinner party, and he went to George's house, and they're all sitting there on the table. And according to the book, Shyamasundar says, George realized that he was very quiet. So he says to Shyamasundar, you're very quiet. You're very quiet today, Shyam. And obviously there were other guests there. And so George said, well, he says, I'm not paraphrasing correctly, but the way I assume it happened was that he said, Srila Prabhupada has a Krishna book, and he requires 20,000 pounds to print the book. And at that moment, that very moment, the lightning struck and all the lights went off. And in his Liverpudlian accent, he said something like, I suppose that's the act of God. And he gave Prabhupada the 20,000 pounds. So you can see what I'm saying, that without this book, without Shiva Prabhupada's translation, without George Harrison's mercy, we wouldn't be here. Now this book here, you can see it's all over the place. I only had 2 books in my possession when I started. One was the Bhagavad Gita, and my daughter was only 6 or 7. She was an avid reader, and she said to me, Dad, buy me a book. So someone recommended the Krishna book. I knew nothing about Krishna at all. Of course, I'm promoting the Krishna book. I think that if there's only 2 books you should have, if you don't have any books, but if you have 2 books that you have in your possession, the Bhagavad Gita and the Krishna book, these 2 books will take you back to Godhead. You don't need any other books around. There's lots of books around. I've got libraries of books. Every room you open a cupboard, there's a book, there's a book, there's a book, there's a book, there's a book. But since I've been given the opportunity to speak today on the topic, I had to go back to it. And I won't lie to you, for the last 10 days, all I could do is think of Krishna, 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 continuously. So I'm purifying myself, and I hope the words will purify you. So does anyone know today what's the topic? Yeah, it's Uddhava visits Vrindavan. And the interesting thing is, most of my service is based in the kitchen. I cook the Raj Bhog with Dhammasevana. And I came out of the kitchen. I always come and do my Gayatri next to Prabhupada. I sat on a chair there. And I was doing my Gayatri, and I opened my eyes. I saw Navadik Chandra sitting on the bench. And he says to me, I asked him about our trip to India, and he said to me, would you like to do me a favor, please? I said, oh yeah, what? Maybe he wants a cushion or something. He said, would you like to give an evening class? I said, oh no, please. So I'm not a natural speaker. It takes a lot of preparation to speak like this. So obviously, you realize that if you're sitting there and I'm sitting there, it's Krishna's arrangement. I said, yes, I'll do it. So I said, what's the topic? He said, we haven't decided yet. I said, really? He said, it'll come somewhere from the Krishna book. I said, oh, okay. So I said, how long will he? He said, about another 10 days, we'll give in 5 days. I said, okay. So I went home, and immediately someone asks you to speak, your mind goes in turmoil, because you have to prepare for this. So I took the book out, and I just opened it. And I wasn't too far from 45. I was reading 46, where Uddhava explains to the gopis. So today's topic is Uddhava visits Vrindavan. So those two words, Uddhava and Vrindavan, Uddhava, you could spend years talking about Uddhava because it is the Uddhava Gita. Vrindavan is endless, and I've got 15 minutes to talk about Uddhava goes to Vrindavan. So what it is I looked up the name Uddhava. I remember I asked once a very learned devotee, what's the meaning of Uddhava? It's very simple. He's a friend of Krishna. That's what Uddhava means. And Vrindavan obviously is the forest of Vrindadevi. So, I mean, all of us know that Krishna descended from the spiritual world to destroy the miscreants and to please his devotees. So he took birth in Mathura, and then he was taken as a baby across to Yashoda and Nanda. And he spent several years there, up to the age of 10. And at the 10th year, Kamsa had invited him for the Dhanur Yagya, which is the stringing of Lord Shiva's bow. And the senior Gopas, they thought, yes, it's time for Krishna to go. And as soon as he was about to leave, the Gopis didn't want the chariot to go out. And Mother Yashoda was already crying because they loved him so much. Anyway, he does go, and the Gopis just stayed until the dust disappeared. And he gets to Mathura, and he does all his business. He kills Kamsa there, he kills the wrestlers, he kills the elephant. It's time to go back to Vrindavan. But Krishna and Balaram don't go. They say to Nanda Maharaj, he says, you go back. I'm with you physically. I'm here, but I'm with you. So Nanda Maharaj realized that he was only his foster son, so he's now going to take care of Devaki and Vasudeva. So he allows him to stay back in Mathura. But it says that Krishna's bhava goes to Vrindavan. His love goes. But his Vasudeva and Sankarshan, they remain in Mathura. Because Krishna has business to complete. But he knows that the inhabitants of Vrindavan are missing him already. I mean, Yashoda Maya was already crying when he was on the chariot. So they go back without physical Krishna. But now Krishna has to complete some business in Mathura. He says, I need to stay here in Mathura because Kamsa's relatives are going to come and try and disturb the Mathura Vashis. So I have to remain and protect them. So he stays there. And in that period, he goes to Brihaspati in Ujjain, and he starts learning the 64 arts in 64 days. That's God for you. I mean, it's incredible. That's why we all love Krishna. He's so fantastic. So then what happens is that he knows, because it says in the Gita, that anyone who's thinking about Krishna intensely, he's thinking about them as well. It's the same reciprocal. And now he has a cousin called Uddhava. And Uddhava has also learned all the arts from Brihaspati. In fact, Uddhava was so intelligent that he actually was the priest and the teacher for the heavenly planets. He was that intelligent, and he looked like Krishna. They were first cousins. The fathers were brothers. Vasudeva and Uddhava's father were brothers. So they were almost identical. They had the same complexion, you know. And it says, I was listening to the tapes, that Uddhava always wore Krishna's clothes. His prasad. It looked like him. So Krishna called him and he said to him, listen, Uddhava, he says, I want you to go to Vrindavan. He says, I want you to go to Vrindavan because they're missing me. And I want you to tell them that I'm coming soon. But I want you to go and meet them and tell them everything is fine. So Uddhava goes. He sets off. And he gets there in the evening. And obviously, no one really knows that he's arrived. So he parks his chariot outside Nanda Maharaj's house. But what he noticed is Vrindavan is full of white cows. And he noticed the cows and the bulls. The bulls are chasing the cows. And the cows are laden with milk. And the cows are suckling towards them. He'd never seen sights like this before. And he saw that the beautiful gardens outside the houses, and they all sanctified with incense, and they sanctified with flowers and diwars, ghee lamps everywhere. They welcomed the demigods, visitors, and he could see, he could hear the birds, he could hear the bees buzzing everywhere. A completely different environment to what he was ever seen in his life. So anyway, he goes in and he meets Nanda Maharaj. And Nanda Maharaj realizes that he's been sent from Vasudeva, and they start talking. And Nanda Maharaj says to me, "Oh, welcome, please take a seat." They give him all the royalties. And they say to him, "How is Vasudeva? How is Devaki? Everything's fine. And how is our Krishna? How is our Krishna? Does he remember us? Does he really remember us? We remember him. We see his footsteps everywhere. We see his bimba, his bimba lips, his lotus eyes, his peacock feather. Does he remember him tendering the cows?" Asking questions like if we hadn't seen someone for a long time. You ask questions, don't you? How is Krishna? How is Balaram? And does he remember how he killed all the demons when they came? Yashoda Ma is just sitting there, and she's weeping because she's missing her Krishna. She's missing her Krishna. And then I just want to share something with you very quickly. If I can see this here. I mean, if you take the Krishna book, each demon that Krishna killed is our anatas, or it represents something. So I looked this up on the internet to find out exactly what each demon represents. And when you go back to the Krishna book and you read that, just based on that summary, you'll get so much sweetness from the whole pastime. So Putna, for example, Putna was a pseudo guru. And she is that because she came, saying to Mother Yashoda, "Let Krishna suckle my breast." Pseudo guru, not a real mother. And Sakatasura, the cart demon, carrying burdens of a cartload of old and new bad habits, lethargy and vanity. And when you read that pastime, it kicks it out. That's us. With vanity, with vain, lethargy, Trinavata, false pride, which comes from material scholarship, which leads to bogus philosophies. So many people are full of bogus philosophies. That's Trinavata. So do you see all the list? And when I read that, I don't know how many of you know what the demons represent. Does anyone know what the demons are? Yeah, you can take a copy of this. I was trying to memorize this, but I couldn't get into my brain. It's quite complex. But I can give you an insight into what those demons are, because, six of, I'm aware of time, 6 of Devaki's children were killed. Those are all the anatas that we have. Ravana's 10 heads. Those are more anatas every time, because you have to kill the anatas before Krishna enters your heart. Otherwise he won't come. If you have them, he won't come. Kaliya, brutality and treachery, extinguishing the forest fire, intercommunal discord amongst Vaishnavas. Now that's an interesting one. So if you read that one, of course they're pastimes. So I just, I just wanted to share that with you. So Nanda Maharaj is asking Vasudeva all these questions about Krishna. Does he remember this? Does he remember that? And obviously we got the perfect pastime of the Damodar Leela. So you can imagine Yashoda mind thinking, I try to bind him. So the other thing I want to share with you is the Srimad Bhagavatam. I made a list here. The Srimad Bhagavatam is a Mahapurana. It's great. Purana is history, great history. And for the Srimad Bhagavatam to be called a Mahapurana, it needs 10 aspects. Now, if you go back to your Srimad Bhagavatam, and if you listen to what I'm saying, it makes sense. Because I came across it, I looked it up. And it says the Canto 1 is Adhikar Leela. It's our qualification. Are we actually qualified to read the Srimad Bhagavatam? So it's a qualification to begin all the 10 cantos. And it's a foundation for the 12 volumes. And Prabhupada, he wrote the first canto like as if he was going to pass away. Everything is in the first canto. If you read the first canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam and study it, Back to Godhead, Prabhupada spent his entire energy there, the first canto. And then the second and the third, these are Sarga and Visarga, primary creation and secondary creation. If you go to the second and the third cantos, you'll see that. Just those words, the minute you pick up your Bhagavad Gita, your Srimad Bhagavatam, you will know this is creation, primary and secondary. So that's the third and the fourth. The fifth canto is Sthanam, which describes the different wonders of Krishna's creation. So you can go and pick I'm coming to the 10th canto, which is really interesting. The canto 6 is Poshana. Poshana actually means protection and nourishment of his devotees. And that's what the 6th canto is described as, Poshana. And this is a Sanskrit word I never come across. Now, in that canto, you'll see that there, Ajamil was protected by the holy name, Narayana. And in the 6th canto, you'll see that Indra is protected by Krishna. So the whole of the 6th canto is Poshana. Do you see how it makes sense? So if you pick your 6th canto up and you read it, you'll realize that this is what it means. And then the 7th canto, this is also interesting. The 7th canto is a word called Uti. I never come across that myself. Did anyone come across the word Uti? Uti means two different consciousness coming together. That's what Uti means. It means, and in the 7th canto, it's all about Prahlad and Hiranyakashipu. Prahlad, God conscious. Hiranyakashipu, demon. Uti. Different consciousness coming together. And then you come to what canto are we on there? That's the 7th. Then the 8th canto is Manmantara. It's all the different avatars of Krishna. Manmantara. And the reign of Manu. And then the avatars, the Guna, the Yuga avatar. The 9th canto is Ishano Katha, which is the pastime of Lord Parashuram and Sri Ram. And then obviously the 10th canto is where Uddhava visits Vrindavan. The 10th canto is the Krishna book. Now the way that's described, it says, the 10th canto is Nirodha. Nirodha means to uproot. It means to uproot, to remove. And yoga is described as Chitta Vritti Nirodha. Chitta means consciousness, Vritti means the tendency. So the natural tendency of our consciousness is to slip, is to go into a low realm. That is our tendency. We're always thinking about material things. We never really spend our time thinking about spiritual things. So the minute you go and pick up the 10th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, it's Chitti Vritti Nirodha. The consciousness is uprooted, is Nirodha. Because that the Srimad Bhagavatam 10th canto is all about Krishna. So the minute you start reading it, your consciousness is raised. See? Beautiful. And obviously the 11th canto is Moksha, which is the Uddhava Gita. And Krishna explains everything. Different to the Bhagavad Gita. It's called the Uddhava Gita. And then the 12th canto is Aishwarya. Sorry about that. Yeah, whatever. Not too long because we're running out of time.
Can I add just
Yeah, sure.
So the main reason, I'm not trying to, I think, because it's a bit longer topic this time, but I just want to add it. Krishna wanted to send Uddhav to Vrindavan to teach them, because he knew Uddhav was all about the path of knowledge. So
Yeah, I was coming to that.
oh, sorry.
Can I just finish it?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so if you think about the lessons, what are the lessons of Uddhava? Because we only got 2 minutes. What are the lessons? Let's just summarize the lessons. The lessons for Uddhava going to Vrindavan. One is that Krishna is telling him, anyone who thinks of me constantly, I will think of them constantly and I will protect them. Okay? The second reason, Uddhava was highly intellectual. He was extremely intelligent. He could deduce any situation. Krishna knew them. But he was teaching him a lesson. He said, I want you to go to Vrindavan to see how the gopis have ecstatic, elevated love for me. And education is not required. And that is the other lesson. The third lesson that I came across, that I surmised, is that if you're constantly thinking of Krishna through the Krishna book, through the activities, constantly thinking of Krishna, and that minute that you're passing away, you remember Krishna, you're going to him. You are definitely going to him. There is no doubt about that. He says that. He says that in the Gita. Antakale chamam evam smaran muktva kalevaram ya praati samadbhavam yati nastya samshayaha yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tyajate ante kalevaram tam tam evati konteya sadatad bhava bhavitaha. And whoever at the end of his life quits his body, remembering me alone, at once attains my nature. Of this there is no doubt. Whatever state of being one remembers when he quits his body, O son of Kunti, that state he will attain without fail. And then the final one is that we should all always remember Janma karma chamam devam evam yo veti tatpada tyatva den purna janma naiti mamiti sorjana. Anyone who remembers my pastimes, he's sure to come to me. So today we got Dhammadastakam. Study those verses, memorize them every day, and I tell you, Krishna will definitely take you back. Thank you very much. I hope you found it interesting and you learned something. Hare Krishna. You singing?
Try. Try. You need a paper? No, I got mine. You can distribute to the... Not there. I'll go to one day. Yeah, it's okay. I just went upstairs. It's not there. Yeah.
It's not the instrument, it's you.
Yes, please. Yes. Sometime in the old श्री राधा गोकुलंद के राम लक्ष्मण हनुमान की श्री राधा दामोदर की श्री गौरनिताई शिला प्रभुपाद की नमो विश्वाराम सच्चे आनंदरूपम लसकुंडलम गोकुले ब्रजमानम राम सच्चे यशोदाम परम संसत्यंत नृत्य गोप्या Netra Yogammajantam Karamba Yognana Satanta Netram Sakampadre Lekhankakanta Sita Amor Bhaktivedanta Iti Drikshvainabe Ananda Tunde Swagosham Nimajantam Bhakyan Payam Iti Drikshvalila Vasudev Ananda Kunde Swagosham Nimajantam Akyantayantam Tadiye Sitagnetra Jitvatvam Puna Prematastam Shata Vriti Vande Tadiye Sitagnetra Varam Deva Muktam Na Samvadimva Na Janya Neyam Varishadapiya Varam Deva Muktam Varam Deva Moksham Na Moksham Vadimva Na Janya Neyam Varishadapiya Idam te vapunata upalabalam Sada me manasya virasam kimanya Idam te vapunata upalabalam Sada me manasya virasam kimanya Idam te mokham vaja atyantanile Vatam kontalaiksnika tasya gopya Idam te mokham vajam atyantanile Vatam kontalaiksnika tasya gopya Kumbitam bimbaratnam dharamne Manasya virastam alam lakshalabhi Kumbitam bimbaratnam dharamne Manasya virastam alam lakshalabhi Namo Deva Damodar Ananta Vishnu Rashida Prabhu Dukru Jalabhi Magna Namo Deva Damodar Ananta Vishnu Rashida Prabhu Dukru Jalabhi Magna Padre Vrit स्याति दिनं वतानो ग्रहणेषु माम् अज्ञामेदस्य दक्षा कृपादेशु स्याति दिनं वतानो Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Jaya Radha, Damodar Radha, Damodar Radha, Damodar Radhe Radhe, Jaya Radha, Damodar Jaya Radha, Damodar Radha, Damodar Radha, Damodar Radhe Radhe, Jaya Yashoda Damodar, Yashoda Damodar, Yashoda Damodar, Yashoda Damodar. Jaya Yashoda Damodar, Yashoda Damodar, Yashoda Damodar, Yashoda Damodar, Yashoda. Jaya Radha Gokulananda Radha Gokulananda Radha Gokulananda Radhe Radhe Jaya Radha Jaya Radha Damodar Radha Damodar Radha Damodar Radhe Radhe Jaya Radha Madan Mohan Radha Madan Mohan Radha Madan Mohan Radhe Radhe Jaya Radha Govind Radha Govind Radha Govind Radhe Radhe Jaya Jaya Radha Gopinath Radha Gopinath Radha Gopinath Radhe Radhe Jaya Radha Gokulananda Radha Gokulananda Radha Gokulananda Radhe Radhe Jaya Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman Jaya Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman Jaya Jaya Gauranitai Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada. I go Premanande Shri Radha Damodar ki jai.
To the Supreme Lord, whose form is the embodiment of external existence, eternal existence, knowledge and bliss, whose sark-shaped earrings are swinging to and fro, who is beautifully shining in the divine realm of Gokula, who I, due to the offense of breaking the pot of yogurt that his mother was churning into butter and then stealing the butter that was kept hanging from swing. He is quickly running from the wooden grinding motor in front in fear of Mother Yashoda, but who has been caught from behind by her, who ran after him with great speed to the Supreme Lord. Sri Damodar, I offer my humble obeisances. Seeing the whooping stick in his mother's hand, he was crying and rubbing his eyes again and again with his two lotus hands. His eyes are filled with fear, and the necklace of pearls around his neck, which is marked with 3 lines like a conch shell, is shaking because of his quick breathing due to crying. To the Supreme Lord, Sri Damodar, whose belly is bound not by the rope, but with his mother's pure love, I offer my humble obeisances. By such childhood pastimes as this, he is drowning the inhabitants of Gokula in pools of ecstasy and is revealing to the devotees who are absorbed in knowledge of his supreme majesty and opulence that he is only conquered by devotees whose pure love is imbued with intimacy and is free from all conceptions of awe and reverence. With great love, I offer my obeisances to Lord Damodar hundreds and hundreds of times. O Lord, although you are able to give all kinds of benedictions, I do not pray to you for the boon of impersonal liberation, nor the highest liberation of eternal life in Vaikuntha, nor any other boon which may be obtained by executing the 9 processes of bhakti. O Lord, I simply wish that this form of yours as Balgopal and Vrindavan may ever be manifest in my heart, for what is the use of me of any other boon besides this? O Lord, your lotus face, which is encircled by the locks of soft black hair, tangled with red, is kissed again and again by Mother Yashoda, and your lips are reddish like the bimba fruit. May this beautiful vision of your lotus feet be ever manifest in my heart. Thousands and thousands of other benedictions are of no use to me. O Supreme Godhead, I offer my obeisances unto you. O Damodar, O Ananta, O Vishnu, O Master, O my Lord, be pleased upon me. By showering your glance of mercy upon me, deliver this poor ignorant fool who is immersed in an ocean of worldly sorrows and become visible to my eyes. O Lord Damodar, just as the 2 sons of Kuvera, Manigriva and Nalakuvera, were delivered from the curse of Narada and made into great devotees by you in your form as a baby tied with a rope to the wooden grinding motor, in the same way, please give to me your own prema bhakti. I only long for this and have no other desires for any other kind of liberation. O Lord Damodar, I first of all offer my obeisances to the brilliantly effulgent rope which binds your belly. I then offer my obeisances to your belly, which is the abode of entire universe. I humbly bow down to your most beloved Radha, Srimati Radharani, and I offer all obeisances to you, the Supreme Lord, who displays unlimited pastimes. Sri Radha Damodar ki jai.
Namaste Narishingaya. Namaste Narishingaya. Pralada Lada Dayini. Pralada Lada Dayini. Hiranyakashipu Muktaha. Shilatankana Kalahi. Itona Shinga Paratona Shinga. Shona Nashinga Parato Nashingo Yato Yato Yamitato Nashinga Yato Yato Yamitato Nashingo Nashingo, Ridahe Nashingo Pahe Nashingo, Ridahe Nashingo Narashinga Madhim Sharanam Prapade Narashinga Madhim Sharanam Avakara Kamala Hare Naka Aduta Singa Dalita Hiranyakashipu Nanubinga Yashavadrita Narahari Rupa Jayo Jagarisha Hare Jayo Jagarisha Hare Jayo Jagarisha Hare Avakara Kamala Hare Naka Maduka Singa Dalita Hiranyakashipu Kanubringa Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa Jayo Jagarisha Hare Jayo Jagarisha Hare Jayo Jagarisha Hare Bolo Jayo Nashingare, Jayo Nashingare, Jayo Nashingare, Jayo Nashingare. Jayo Prahlad Maharaj, Jayo Prahlad Maharaj, Jayo Prahlad Maharaj, Jayo Prahlad Maharaj. Jayo Prabhupada, Jayo Prabhupada, Jayo Prabhupada, Jayo Prabhupada. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura, Hari Bol. Prahlad Maharaj ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hari Bol, thank you very much. There's prasad being served there now, Mahaprasad. So see you tomorrow, Hare Krishna, or later on this evening. Morning, yeah.
Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namah Vishnupaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyatya Disha Tarine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyatya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Rama Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Rama Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna, Krishna. Hare 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 Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Rama Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare 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 Rama, Hare Rama, Hari Bol. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare
Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Rama Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare